Yeah, hi, this is Alken and welcome back to my channel. Well, we have a story about one of the candidates running for mayor of the city of New York and a not very flattering piece. But then again, the guy's not very flattering either. I mean, this is the guy who was yelling and screaming Tom Holtman about First Amendment at Albany. You know, he's trying to stop the deportations. He should be deported to El Salvador. See how he feels. Anyway, this is from Michael Goodman of the New York Post. Goodwin, excuse me. Anti-Israel zealot Oleti Zohran Mamdani. I don't care how it's pronounced. New York City mayoral campaign is a preposterous bid for a radical city hall takeover. And I know it's done on April 1st. We're getting it today, and it's not an April Fool joke. On paper, the mayoral candidate of Queens Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani is prosperous. He's a 33-year-old Muslim and a harsh critic of Israel, running to lead a city that has the world's largest Jewish population. He accused Israel of committing a genocide in Gaza. You know, both sides are saying it. I'm not here or there. Counts, and among his high-profile supporters and fundraisers are two notorious anti-Semite, Linda Sauer and Michigan Representative Rasheen TV. Again, I don't care how I pronounce those names. He's also an avid socialist who quests to lead the city that sits at the heart of American capitalism that had been endorsed by the Democrat Socialists of America. As a Bernie Sanders Ancelote, whatever the hell that means, he believes free is the right price for passengers on city buses. He also believes in making the MTA go broke. You know, he's just charging them $9 on the drivers. He also wants to freeze rents in the city, 1 million rent establishment apartments, so you have more shortage of housing. He promised to raise the city minimum wage to $30 an hour. How well's that doing in California? Not great. Ever since they went $20 an hour, they cut hours, they cut jobs, they closed businesses down. It's doing pretty bad in California. $30 an hour is ridiculous. They're not operating a train, they're flipping burgers. And make childcare free while also raising the wage of childcare workers. You don't have all the money to do all this, sir. And your businesses are disappearing. And to add the high cost of groceries, he would open a government-run grocery stores in each of the 5 boroughs that he claims could offer low prices in the private-owned stores. In words, he wants to compete against the bodegas and put them out of business. Yes, that's right. The bodega cats, when they see him, he would, of course, pay for all this government leisure by raising taxes on the wealthy, most of whom had smart enough to flee before he gets the chance. With crime and disorder a major issue among voters, some of the red, including former Governor Andrew Cuomo, promised to hire more police officers, not Mamdani. McDummy. No, he wants to bring more crime to the city. He said NYPD already has too much money and power. Damn, they had too much money and power. Why is crime not down? Although he's careful not to use the phrase defund the police, which is what it is, folks, which is most Democrats now realize was a disaster for the party, he proposed something similar. It's still defunding the police. He would shift some work away from the NYPD by creating a new agency called the Department of Community Safety. That's right, create another agency, waste more taxpayers' money, and no results. In public safety plan he released Tuesday, he promised a new unit will fill the gap of our program service and prevent violence before it happens by taking a public healthy approach to safety, which will mean those safety officers will be the target of crime. Isn't that lovely? He went on to vow that no New Yorkers fall through the cracks about social safety network. The net has holes in it. If it sounds familiar, his plan echoes the promise made by the most far-left mayor of the city had in modern times, Bill De Blasio, or as I like to call him, Bill De Bozo. Mayor Putz spent a cool $1 billion to create something he called Thrive New York City and put his wife in charge. The money was spent, but the problems grew. The program went nowhere anyway. That's what you get when you mix socialism with incompetence and grift. Nevertheless, New York Times, in a glowing profile called Mamdani, a fresh-faced socialist. His face may be fresh, but his ideas are old and ruinous. And the New York Times, I wouldn't even line my birdcage with the New York Times newspaper. You know, it might do something to the birds. You could be charged with cruel and unusual punishment. And they have failed whatever they were implemented for a simple reason. They stifle human innovation and create more poverty and disorder, not less. I mean, they tried it in the Soviet Union, they tried it in China, they tried it all over the place, and hasn't worked. I say, oh, but China's still communist and it's thriving. Yeah, because they had to put capitalism back in. Vietnam had to put capitalism back in. That's the only reason why they're thriving. Well, not all of it, of course, but. And despite his kumbaya parody about a alternate to NYPD, there's no longer a serious debate about whether there is any substitute for the police. There isn't. You know, it's like you put substitute food for something else, and does it always work? No. When police are properly trained and laid and allowed to do their jobs, crime falls and citizens are safer. As Mayor Adams will often say, public safety is a precursor to our prosperity. Yet the city chronic decline, widespread voter discontent, and population changes are providing an opening for radicals like McDummy, or whatever the hell his name is. I don't give a crap. He is providing to be a fundraiser and claims to have become the first in the race to hit the spending cap. He reports that he had raised more than $8 million, including projected matching funds from about 18,000 city donors, and said he has done so at a faster rate than any campaign in New York City history, according to Gotham. Under campaign financial rules, the mayoral candidates who join the system can spend about $8 million, with more than $7 million of that coming from public matching funds. I think they should get rid of that. We could use that money a lot better than a politician. In addition, a separate super PAC is reportedly being formed to support him and spend money apart from his campaign. One result of his war chest and youthful vibe is that Maduro is widely viewed as a top alternative to both Adams and Cuomo in the June primary. Cuomo left Albany in disgrace in 2021, laid the pack with 10 Democrats with a consistently 40% or so in the poll, while Maduro stands second with 15% according to a recent Data for Progress survey. All others, including Adams, registered in single digits. Well, the other 8 to the left of Cuomo and Adams, the Socialist Party and the fellow travelers are trying to gain the ranked choice voting system that was first used in 2021 mayoral race. The aim is to coerce around each other candidates so they don't cancel each other out and allow Cuomo or Adams to win the nomination. To that end, the workers working family parties on Sunday endorsed 4 of the 8. Mardumo, City Controller Brad Lander, City Councilman, Speaker, Adrian Adams, no relation to Eric Adams, and Senator Marr, a Brooklyn state senator. Party leaders said they would even throw their support behind a single candidate. Meanwhile, each of the 4 promised to ask their supporters not to list either Cuomo or Andrew among the choices, will allow voters to rank up 5 candidates in order to prefer. Madume was born in Uganda to Indian-born parents. The family moved to Cape Town, South Africa for 2 years when he was 5, and then New York. His mother, Mira Noura, is a celebrated filmmaker. Who cares? His father, Mamof Muduma, is a professor at Columbia University. Why am I not surprised? Who has called for the elimination of the Jewish state. He's probably supporting all the nonsense that cut Columbia's $400 million funding. Zuma graduated from the demanding Bronx High School of Science and then Bowdoin College in Maine with a degree in African Studies. Bronx High School of Science. I'm from Walton. Now I found a good reason not to like him. His opposition to Israel is so extreme that he was arrested at a pro-Palestine rally outside Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's house in Brooklyn soon as Hamas terrorists invaded on October 7, 2023. That was before Israel sent large numbers of troops into Gaza. He supported the uncommitted movement of Muslims in the presidential campaign, so they was trying to persuade then President Joe Biden to drop support for Israel. Later, he told CBS Biden would be able to defeat Trump if he continued to ignore millions of Americans who won't stand for the genocide of Palestinians in Gaza being committed where our names and our tax dollars. He introduced a bill in Albany that would allow the state attorney general to dissolve any New York group helping to fund Israel's settlements in the West Bank. It went nowhere. Just like his campaign's going to go nowhere. If New York is smart and lucky, neither will his campaign for City Hall. What a coincidence. I didn't even know that was in there until I moved the cursor. No, I'm sorry, but I don't like him because he's from Bronx Science. I don't like his MTA policy. Oh, give free rides on the bus. You already got free rides on the bus. It's called fare beating. Meanwhile, while they're not paying, New York's MTAs is losing $700 million to fare beating. How are you going to recuperate those costs? He's not going to give you a good answer. You already got congested pricing, and it's right now in the courts, and we don't know if it's going to survive or not. I mean, but then again, Trump could order Con Ed to shut the power off because they canceled the permission to allow it to continue. But they still continue it, but we don't know what's going to happen. The courts don't respond. Well, they can tell Con Ed to shut the power off. They're going to. And somebody said, oh, this shit could take over. No. No, you didn't do anything for Con Ed because we know what's going to happen. Your electric bill is going to go even higher. It didn't work with the with Loco. They had to sell it back to a private company. So, no. Anyway, he's bad news. He sucks. He's no good. He's a piece of garbage. And not because he's just he went to school at Bronx Science. I mean, students from Lehman High School and Walton High School don't like Bronx Science. I mean, I'm still not crazy about the school to this day. I mean, I used to, when there was an, what that restaurant was, Applebee's in Squad City, and they put us in the booth, and there was a A plaque with Bronx signs. I mean, I don't got nothing personal, but it was a rivalry, and it wasn't good. So no, 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 no. I don't like him. I don't care for him. He could go kiss my butt before I can. Oh, but I can't because it's against my religious teeth. So what? Some of the garbage you're doing is against your religious teaching too, but you don't care, especially lying. So that's all I can say. So long for now. Don't forget your stop.